Right, a very good evening and welcome aboard to the Podium show every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight as we preview and review and in the world of motorsport, local scene, African scene, as well as on the international scene on the 16th of December 2024. Only hoping to be Chimichabatam Bulunji. Nga buje tugabakoze nfuna birungi twebaze katonda yatumusaba tuseko nebinje birakuba bete bigwe then abachafunye obuzibuzibu better so tumusaba temere kumpendo batufunye solution somoko obuzibu obwo tulivinga obulamu obuli better. The Podium on FA TV as well as Nick 102.1 for Farmer as well as the Farm Media Services also wango sanga no FA Complex plot 879 Albert Cook Road every single Monday tubatuze nebena in the world of motorsport. Zekeshimaniza program eno and you too can be part of this show by joining us on our various social media platforms. You definitely respond to your question or comment and the course of this show. We have a lot regarding the world of motorsport. Nenga shegena kuba centered nyo ku the World Governing Council FIA General Assemblies yabadde wali Kigali Rwanda. A lot of decisions were made. A lot of new changes were introduced. The championship a new championship that was introduced. Ugandans were graduating ku FIA University babaddeyo and good enough we have both of them abamu kwabo bagraduating mu program olunaku luno olwaleero naye kansape omu kwabo graduates aberenga babuuzaako then we pick it up from there. But of course definitely because of this show we talk to Christian GAKWAYA who happens to be Akenaweri Rwanda, the president wa Rwanda Automobile Club aberenga atubuliramuko bebadde in fact yabadde host by the way ya hosting the FIA General Assemblies. So GAKWAYA jakuba tubulira how the event transpired. A lot of things happened in Rwanda. By the African was a weekend where Africa has been dominating headlines in the world scene. Rwanda wabaddeyo the FIA General Assemblies and the entire world was on. I saw that Rwanda trending. Then South Africa, Chris Breezy yazina performing mu Sun City kisawo kyali mu final ya World Cup ya 2010. Africa nayo yabadde abasobola okuba bagenda South Africa okulaba ku Chris Brown yabaddeyo nga bakuba omuziki wali South Africa. So when Rwanda he did train for the right reasons and of course there's a video gye babazanyiddeko our producer nga President Kagame alangirira okuba nti Rwanda balangirira bidi yaabwe y'okuhostinga an F1 race. Birengeri ku kalenda jukira Africa continent yemu kwezi zitalina F1 championship event ku kalenda ate nga bagiyita the World Formula 1 Championship. So your bid ne Hamilton abadde agipushinga agamba Africa should have a race itself okuba nti naye efuna ku that sharing ku that world cake of the Formula 1. Then, of course, there were talks about Morocco. They have a track. South Africa as well. Engagement assembly plants in Nyingi. But of course, FIA General Assemblies. Yabade Rwanda. President Paul Kagame yakikatiriza nti yalonchize a bid. Rwanda okuba nti hosting the F1 race. Good enough. Tulina abakulu abaddeyo. Bajja kuba bitubulira nga byasobola okuba nga bitamba. Kasoka musaba babuzeeko. Then we pick it up from there. But kulika yonyo, as you say a lot to our dear viewers and listeners, how did you travel to Kigali? Because in such a prestigious event included prestigious preparations and transits. I don't know if you traveled by road, okay, fine. But if you traveled by air, still better. But how have you been, and we'll be back.
Neyanziza nnyo okunchaza wano ku FUFA TV ne FUFA Radio. Twebaza Katonda okutubanga yatutusiza ku lunaku luno. Abatuwuliza mwena tubebaza okutuwa time eno. Of course management eno okubanga etuwa opportunity eno okutambula ne motorsport ku FUFA TV twogere ku bintu ebikwatagana ne sport yaffe eno ne ebitusanyusa. Weekend yabadde busy nnyo. Of course twabadde Rwanda nga twagenze okukola bintu nga bisatu. One yabadde personally nabadde ngenze okugraduatinga mu FIA University course gye nali nkoze. Natandika ozikola courses zino mu 2023 era gye nasooka okufuna certificate yange naade nina ogikima e Baku, but unfortunately e Baku si kifo ky'osobola okugenderamu easily, so egyo nengimissinga. Naye opportunity yazze nti Rwanda, our next door neighbor, yabadde yasazeewo okuhostinga event eno, so kyabadde kitukatirizako okumakinga sure nti tumakinga personal appearance okubanga tu participating mu graduation ceremony eyo. Ekyokubiri twadde tugenze nga Vice President wa Formula 1 Uganda, which is Formula 1 Association of Uganda. Ate nga reason yaffe yabadde okutuukayo okufindinga out na kweteeka mu line mu plans zaffe eza karting mu Uganda zibeere nga tulina direction FIA gye yagala genda mu development of karting, era kyasanyu nnyo nti we twatuuseyo twamitinze ne strategic planners ba FIA ku kigambo kya karting, ne tubeera ne tumitinga ne president wa FIA n'atuwa programs ze in regards to karting okubanga ye grassroots eya motorsport, era nga alina agenda y'amaanyi nnyo mu myaka mu 2025 erikwatagana ne karting. So information twasobodde ogifuna n'abagikolako twasobola okwogera nabo, ne situation yaffe mu Uganda ne tusobola okubayitiramu. Kyayinza ogamba buli omu ali mu karting era ayagala kujoininga karting. 2025 is the year for everybody. Osobola kuba nga oracinga ku Miraki track today, but you can race in the next week or two. You might be racing on a world track scene. So opportunity yazze, nja kuba nga nyinyonyolako as I go along, naye nga anybody can race now anywhere in the world, so it's a fantastic opportunity. Ekyokusatu twadde tugenze attending a General Assembly eya FIA, of which FMU is an affiliated member. Ate wadde bayita mu General Assembly yaabwe okuyisa mu bintu nga accounts na amendments ze balina ne operation yayo. Kati nze nabadde very privileged okubanga ntudde mu General Assembly yaabwe nenjiraba engeri gye tambulamu from start to the end, and there was a lot to learn from there. And our constitution as it is right now, agitandika ogirowoozako, it originated from the FIA constitution and its way of operations. Kujako, when we get back home, some supplementary regs were put in which maybe fit the situation of Uganda at the time. But as we speak right now, we are Fenga, Uganda, we are in a very opportune time. Buli kimu kyalininga in a certain way that favors this country and favors Africa in particular. And Fenga bali motorsport wano mu Uganda, it is our time to shine. If we sit down and think collectively and work together, the opportunity is immense. There's a lot.
I was following the General Assemblies, and I had a chat with GAKWAYA. That was on Friday, asking him about, very inquisitive to find out from him about how other countries, how the world perceives Africa. Nangamanti, they see it's virgin land in terms of exploration of sport. That is why our vendors are following an event here, activities if the General Assembly says. Bakulazenti, they want, FIA wants almost everyone involved in motorsport. But they are pushing an element of inclusivity. There's a buggy, Jeba Zimba and Nale Max Verstappen launching it and everything. Then Nalabi launching the helmets. They have the helmet factory, launching. So in case you're in there, then talking about karting, as we discussed in the course of this show, Lando Norris, champion wa karting wa 20 2014. And he's from karting, he's gone through the ranks and is on the table of men F1.
And the champion of karting in the category which he was in, who won this year 2024, was present, and Lando Norris was the one to hand over the trophy.
The trophy, yeah.
He's a black boy. He's from Britain, and basically bagezako take out the new Lewis Hamilton in that particular boy. However, Chinese Gamba nti the FIA president bin Sulaiman has come up with a positive policy about motorsport enokubeera buli wamu ku nsi kuno. And that inclusivity jayogerako, it extends to price, making affordable for everybody. Then bino byakola okugenda mu Africa and other parts of the world, yenga President agamba these activities should showcase the countries that host and enable them for people to understand. Kati ye ekintu kyabaddewo, some members of the world they look at Africa with a different concept, security wise, medical wise. Some people still think we are what we were before. So it was amazing, and actually from an East African point of view, we have to congratulate President Kagame and Christian for having brought the motorsporting world to Africa and to East Africa to change the mindset of people. Perceptions of Africa. At some point, I was having conversations with people from Japan, Cyprus, the UK, and they had a totally different assumption or thought about this place. And that exposure was there, fine. The vehicle that was built, motoka gye bazimba batuweereza wano gundi zaayo, measurements zaayo, ndoza mwami Joshua azirina, era nga the idea is that every person can build a car which is sustainable, which can be used. Era eyo motoka gye bavuga, Verstappen gye yavuga, it was built in Rwanda by Rwandese, and majority of the parts are, okay, some parts are important, but majority of them are processed in Rwanda and put there. So we can build the same in Uganda. It's called a cross car.
A cross car.
We can build the same in Uganda, and we can use it to race, which makes the price of motorsport in that category cheaper.
Kale, that and more after this short commercial break. We will talk to Christian GAKWAYA, President Rwanda Automobile Club, at Koku, how the event unfolded. You have the host, and see, you have the host the event, and he told me about the weather, the timing of the assemblies. Resonating with the weather, and the guys, because if you look at why people travel in the world, the first reason out there, if you do research, is weather, and surely Rwanda has become a tourist attraction, destination for many regarding the weather. But anyway, we're going for a short commercial break and get back. That and more after this short commercial break. We'll be back from that short commercial break. It's the Podium show every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight as we preview and review everything in the world of motorsports. On the line, we have the president of the Rwanda Automobile Club, Mr. Christian GAKWAYA, to digest a lot regarding the FIA General Assemblies that took place over the weekend. In fact, last week in Rwanda, that was in Kigali at the BK Arena. Nenga tugatidwa kune Jackson Serwanga, who happens to be the Assistant General Secretary, Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda. Okay, that's all for now, Christian. Then later on, with Jackson and Jatwega Tako after this interaction. Hello, Christian. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very fine. How is Kigali? How is Rwanda?
Rwanda is doing very well.
Okay, thanks for sparing time and joining us. I'm requesting you to say hello to our dear listeners and viewers of FUFA TV and FUFA FM.
Thank you. Yes, happy to be with you and pleasure to discuss about motorsport.
Okay. Where do we even begin from? First things first, let's first take you back to Baku. Last year, when the pronouncement was made about you guys hosting 2024 FIA General Assemblies. How did you bring us up to speed? How did this bid come about?
Yeah, so it's a project that we have been working on for a couple of years. I think for the last 2 years, with the support of the government. We had approached the FIA. We submitted an expression of interest. They went through a couple evaluation process and assessment. They conducted a site visit. Then, yeah, as you heard, it was announced in GAKWAYA last year, December, during the previous General Assembly.
Okay, then how vigorous have the preparations been? Because that's a huge event to host for any country and for any federation.
Yeah, it's a big event, so planning and also some standards compliance, but we worked hand in hand, so it was a long but smooth process, and last week the expectation.
Okay, then let's get straight into the number of activities that took place. Maybe bring us up to speed with some of those ones. One of the things that we had Ugandans graduating as well. We have one of them is Albert Ofong is in studio. Another one is Jackson Serwanga. He's been there, done some of the events as a COC, graduating from the FIA University. But you bring us up to speed some of those activities that formed the General Assemblies of 2024.
Yeah, thank you. So as you mentioned, it was a week full of activities, including the graduation of the FIA University. As you know, FIA is now focusing really on capacity building and then training. So one of the initiatives, the FIA University, which is, an opportunity brought to all members. And as you mentioned, we had a couple of members graduating last week. We also had another initiative by the FIA called Smart Driving Challenge, which is, I can say a fun drive, but also performance evaluation drive, which took place in Kigali. We had the launch of a cross car that was manufactured in Kigali, Rwanda by the students from the Polytechnic School. We had a Girls on Track initiative, which is an activity that brought together 100 girls from different high schools to make sure that we give them an opportunity when they explain them about motorsport and attract them to the sport. We had launching helmet testing facility, which is a mobility arm of the FIA and the FIA Foundation. And we have a number of meetings, regional meetings and also a panel meeting. And on Friday we had the General Assembly, which is the biggest meeting for the annual biggest meeting for the FIA, where we have all members from different countries meeting to discuss a couple of items related to the FIA, to the future of FIA, and the regulation, adoption of multiple points that we adopted during the meeting. Then on Friday night we had awards, which previously were called prize giving, now has changed from the name to the FIA award. We were lucky to have all the champions and all the cars that won the 2024 championship in Kigali, in Africa, for the first time, which was, I believe, as we have seen, one of the biggest shows and a successful show, very interesting, good feedback. But also we are very happy to be able to deliver this for the country and for the continent. Yeah.
Okay, then one of the things that really made news, of course, Kigali has been trending for the last 1 week for the right reasons. One of the things that made news was the president announcing that bid. You guys hosting an F1 event. I don't know how, because for us from this side, we treated that as really huge news or big news on the African continent. And I don't know what was the perception of that in the country and amongst the motorsporting enthusiasts in Rwanda.
Yeah, it's a good news and it's an exciting news because we believe that Rwanda can host a Formula One event, and not only for the country but also for the continent. So it was well received and everyone is excited about it. We are all looking forward to that, and we can only work hard to make sure that this comes to fruition. The bid has been submitted, a lot has been worked on, and we just, it's a process. It's not a one-day process. It will take some time, but we're very confident and we hope that all will go well.
Yeah, then there's, maybe you can expound more on that regarding the bid. The actual place, is it, I say, is it Bugesera?
So it's going to be a permanent racetrack when time comes. So this was the first step to announce the bid. When the time comes, there was also going to be time to reveal the track design and all the details about the track. So it's going to come probably soon to the attention of everyone. But again, as I said, it's going to be a process that has multiple steps, and at each and every step, the right information will be shared.
Okay, then the FIA World Council approved very many things, including a number of calendars. One of those ones that was approved was the African Rally Championship calendar. And Rwanda next year, 2025, we only have 4 events on the African Rally Championship calendar of 2025 because we have Kenya, the event will run, the ARC will run alongside the WRC. Then we have Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, we have the Mountain Gorillas of Rwanda, and Burundi. I mean, Christian, what's your take on the ARC? Because this year we've had, we didn't have Ivory Coast, we didn't have Tanzania, we didn't have Kenya for different reasons. Tanzania, financial constraints. Kenya, there's talk about the bad weather. So it's, I mean, in your view, do you see the ARC dying, or for lack of a better word, is it fading? And what remedies are available? I read the letter that was written by Mr. Muturi, the president of Kenya Motorsport Federation, talking about them suggesting to FIA that FIA should at least sponsor 2 crews from every country taking part in the ARC, so that it can boost the number of participants in the ARC. I don't know, how do you take, what's your take on the ARC?
So first of all, I will start with the calendar. So the calendar that was published will go under some adjustments. So the number of events is not only 4. So we can probably expect to go back to 6, but that will be also announced when time comes.
Okay.
Tanzania is back, so we will have a minimum of 5 and probably 6. That I can confirm it to you. In terms of the current situation of ARC, it was one of the long topics we had during our regional meeting for Africa. We all agreed that something needs to be done to give back ARC its position and also make sure we create value, not only for the participants, but also for our partners and sponsors. So there is a working group that has been put in place to deliver a plan which should be presented to the FIA in the coming maybe 1 month before the championship starts. And we are all committed to increasing the number of participation and also trying to make sure that we really position the championship, the African Rally Championship, to a higher level, because it's the only FIA championship we have on the continent, so it's worth boosting and making sure that we create value, and also we use it for to develop motorsport on all levels, in terms of participants, talents, but also making sure that we drive the message of motorsport around the continent by partnering with media houses like yourself and others, because we believe that one of the reasons why probably ARC dropped in terms of numbers, in terms of value, was also lack of other components that are linked to it, because the number of cars are there. We keep saying that the cars are not available on the continent, but if we were able to start all the cars that are in different countries, I think we can get a good starting list. So there is a need of mobilization, but but also incentives in many ways to make sure that at least 2025, even if it's not very big, but at least we have a considerable number of participants, and probably 2026, the number can even go higher. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay. Thanks for that update regarding the return of Tanzania onto the calendar. Then maybe what I would ask as my last question would be in regards to the design of the car that you guys came up with, and how I don't know what has been the best of this, and two, how is this going to boost motorsport on the continent and of course in Rwanda in particular?
So this is FIA launched a blueprint, which is like a catalog or assembly manual of those cars this year in September. So it's a document that was published by the FIA, and we took the opportunity and said, let's be designing. So we partnered with the FIA and the Polytechnic School in Kigali. We managed to develop one in a record time, because the car was produced, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks maximum. The aim is for this car, although this production is to avail a powerful and compliant motorsport, tool, if I can call it, or car, because it's a car. So what we have presented is the first prototype, but our aim is that at least in the coming years we will produce, something around minimum or above. And we do not only aim at supplying the local market. The intention is to supply the region, because we're going to operate under an FIA certified roll cage and standards. So our products will be compliant with the FIA, and we strongly believe that it's a grassroots product, because for the cost of it, not only the cost of buying it, but also the cost of maintaining it. And we can also produce multiple categories. So what we presented is a mid-range, but now we're going also to work on a junior and a senior category, so that we can have even young kids from 14, 16 years can be able to jump on it and drive it safely. And the model we want to develop is that people don't really have to buy it, because this is what struggling to grow motorsport very fast. If you compare in Europe, most of the drivers, they don't own their cars, so they are like investors or teams that own cars. So what drivers do, they just go and sign a contract to rent a car for a year. They drive it. When the year is over, the owner takes it back. The owner is in charge of maintaining. So we want to develop the same business model around cross car, so that we can have at least 20, 30 of them that we can be moving in the region, instead of people making a heavy investment to start, or to start to make their start event in motorsport. They can have the opportunity to drive this machine at an affordable cost, and also guarantee that they are compliant with the FIA standards. So from there, we'll be able to increase the number of participation, and by increasing the number of participants, we'll be sure that we filter down to motorsport really, because if someone has done cross car 1 year, 2 years, and is a good talent, that will put them in a good position to even probably attract sponsors or attract partners to take them to the next category, which is ready.
Okay, then if so, then what's the fate of karting? If you've again come up with, if there's that another innovation in that regard as you've expounded.
So it's the same. We're going to stay in the cross car category, but there's what they call the L1 and the L2. So the difference is in terms of size and in terms of the engine power. Yeah, but they're going to remain the same. It's going to be a cross car, but multiple sizes.
Okay. Then maybe my last one is I don't know, how many autographs did you manage to sign, and did you manage to get? I don't know. You had every one of them. You have one with Max? I think you have been sharing.
You should have told me. I would have secured one for you. But we managed to host. We were happy to host.
Okay, Christian, any
It's
parting
really,
shots to the motorsport fraternity out here in Uganda, Kampala?
Sorry?
Any parting shots to the motorsporting fraternity on the African continent, because they are listening and viewing as well?
I would say, we stand a big chance as a continent to reposition ourselves, and the whole world has, when we hosted everyone in the motorsport world, it was for the country, but also for the continent. So I think we should position ourselves. We have a lot to offer to the world, and most of the international drivers we spoke to, being rally drivers, being Formula 1 drivers, or even rally red, they all want to come and race in Africa. So we should make sure that we build something worth attracting them, and I'm sure they will come.
Okay, Christian, thank you very, very, very much for sparing time off your schedule and joining us and expounding more on the FIA 2024 General Assemblies. I mean, you guys are really taking motorsport to another level. Only wishing that that bid in regards to the hosting of the F1 Championship does come to pass. When should we, anticipating for the better, when should we expect at least to have, should I call it a dry run for F1 on the African continent in Kigali, in Rwanda?
I will make sure I invite you ahead of time. That's all I can say.
No specific time frame in there, like a year, 2, 3, 4?
More details will be shared in the coming year, so we'll let you know about the calendar and everything and the whole process.
That you guys, after bidding for the F1, you're bidding for the WRC as well. Is it so?
No, for now we're supporting Kenya, and we think one WRC in Africa is good. We can all participate there. But if any other opportunity comes, the other categories we're also considering.
Okay, Christian, thank you very much for joining us. We'll definitely talk to you in the near future.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Okay, oyabadde Christian GAKWAYA, president wa Rwanda Automobile Club, FMU Yeri. Countries have different ways of calling the way they call their federations. Uganda, the FMU, Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda. Kenya, the Kenya Motorsport Federation. Rwanda, the RAC, Rwanda Automobile Club. And Tanzania, you yasigalayo. AAU. Which is it? AAT, okay. AAT, sorry. AAT, Burundi, eri Automobile Club du Burundi, federation headed by one of their members of the federation, Kuradon, and is married to Uganda, by the way. Alright, so we have Christian GAKWAYA. Katu kone kunsimbi tuwe katidwa Jackson Serwanga, fresh from Yakalanyinga kati Yakatonya kati Kampala okuva Kigali. Katu kumewa bitu. All right, we'll be back from that short commercial break. Prior to that break, we had Christian GAKWAYA, the president of Rwanda Automobile Club, digesting a lot regarding the FIA General Assembly. The other day, Wali Kigali, Kubika Arena 2020. I mean, it's you guys who are part of the event should be one of those memories, those living and telling your grandchildren about Albert Awade. Very, very satisfactory reasoning. I've just gotten a message from one Ian saying, Albert Awade back, I'll get the back. Namana Janeiro and ate one day with a lot to tell, but it's a logistical nightmare going to Azerbaijan, which is the capital city of Baku. And you see all these assemblies like Ngamo in football, in even by the Rwanda, I was hosting a gundi ya FIFA
basketball.
FIFA, I was hosting the Basketball Africa League, the inaugural tournament here. I mean, they have done a lot in terms of sport, pumping in a lot of money. JJ, Sabo then how you guys graduated, graduation, graduating, if you know what I see. What next? Because 2015 we had I participated in the ARC, of course on the national, because 2017 on the ARC na inawatendwa, but that event coincided with there was a training. We were about the club one etwale omuntu omom given air tickets, and when they came back, you try to do a trace of, okay, the Maso Mary, how was it the rockstone to the running of the sport in Uganda, and you barely say anything. So you guys, bifana ntwabirabye and kongs na ye twagala waka.
Musibye mutya abalabye ba Fufa TV ne abawuliza Fufa Radio FM. Musibye ku bagendedde bulungi. Naffe tugezaako okulaba nga kintu kitambuza mpola mpola. Twasobola okugenda okugraduatinga. Omulundi guno bannayuganda bangi abaparticipating abagraduating kizaamu amaanyi era nina essuubi omwaka ogujja tujja kuweza abasukka ne 20.
Okay, it brings me down to Albert and JJ, graduating the FIA from the FIA University. Your graduation was meant to be 2023?
The first one I did was supposed to be 2023, and the next one I did was this year.
Was this year? So in other words, 2 in 1.
Yeah.
Maybe you bring up to speed kubantu. Is it Buwokola course? Let me say about governance. Then you graduate, or there's a period that you have to study and there are modules in there. How is it?
So basically what it is that the courses I concentrated in, there are very many courses in there. The ones I concentrated in as me were governance courses. And my purpose for doing them was because, as I've always said, I've always felt that there's a governance problem here in FMU. And I wanted to find out whether I was mentally disturbed or I was right. So I went into, I concluded that I've always been right from 2009. So what I found out is the course is, when it is governance, there's a modern governance course, and then there's leadership course, which is a certificate in leadership courses, which is at the club level. So what it teaches you is how are you supposed to govern in your club. That is one. So it has modules in there, which you study, and at the end of each module, at the end of each sector of the course, you have exams which you do. When you pass those exams, you then go to the next level. Then at the end of it, you get the initial certificate. Those courses, interestingly, the pass mark is 100% for some. If you do not get 100%, you do not qualify, and others is about 95, 96. So you really have to get high marks. My experience with them is they are really good. Eye-opener, kwegamba zikuyigiriza engeri gy'olina okutambuza mu club yo officially nomanya club erina okukola bweti, naye nga eno gye bakuyigiriza is in tandem oba ekwatagana ne FIA yo kyegezako okukola. And woba otambudde at that level, programs ze baleeta nazo zikola ki ziba zisobola okusinkinga ne zigenda ku club yo. Then even at the level of the ASN management, eyo nayo oba olina okumanya ASN yo ekola ki ate ogigoverning otya. So basically woba omaze kukola eya club, then you get to modern, which is teaches you more about governing the sport as an ASN. N'ogisoma, wamala ogisoma, then you get graduation. I think the modern one is the one which you have to get 100%, if I'm not mistaken. Wamala okugifuna, then you graduate with that certificate. However, wamala ekyo, there are other courses which you go for, and the university is open to you to attend those ones. These ones we attended, we are very lucky, they are for free. Tewali kusasula. Just for purposes of clarity, since we have a member of the federation with us here, our trip to this destination was self-sponsored. So we should not hold the Jacksons accountable or ask them, send us Aragawa. No. The opportunity was there, and everybody who went at their own cost. So in our normal assessments of Uganda, somebody will say valid descent, but no. We took ourselves.
Okay. After this, the FI, of course, it's open for courses because it's FI website and everything. I mean, why don't we have because then those Bochigamanti abantu, one of the arguments is what for when the courses but then those we as a sport need to have okay Katingamu Bagaya at that level. You can and others who have vast experience in sport. We can come up with our own modules. Of course together because I'll give an example. But watching we have different perceptions and how I understand things given our educational backgrounds and they were brought up. Kati bo comparing buli omuntu agenda ku FI University asome then again not take out prerequisites for you to be like in such and such a position we know about listing we actually know it's equivalent when you say in a course why don't we have those modules? Why don't you design modules as a sport, as a federation? Then ne tudira abantu abasomi ne bazi they were creating PowerPoints and everything. Then know it around in a group in a cluster and basomesa then you pass them out. Kani ola vile we had na somesa about the technical scrutineer and everything now certificates. So you have a pool of scrutineers, of course different levels, but at least you have a starting point. For a level bajimazi. Baso kata so kumawate maybe na somesa kati level dako then you otherwise for question you have to go as long as you've been in the sport for 5 years you can stand in any position.
Yeah.
Which in my view it's okay at that time maybe by 2013 it was amended maybe charity but times have moved, the world has moved on.
Yeah, oli mutuufu courses ezo zibadenga eye opener era kituwadde ekyokuyiga kingi n'endowooza y'abantu abazisomyeko wadde tebayise ku graduatinga but ogwekola nga reasoning yaabwe ekyuse. As federation tugezezzaako okulaba nga tuparticipatinga naffe mwezo courses tulabe nga tuzifuna bulungi tubitegeera ebiriyo era tuli mu kudevelopinga module era nga bwogambye module eso tuyambako okukendeeza okuliratinga motorsport eyaffe wano ne levels ez'okusoma. Already waliyo pilot group gye tuli mu kukola design tuli mu kukola application ejja kuba both online and on site ejja kuba hybrid okuyambako nti nno tugenda veeri ogambako okujoininga omusima ku training era safety naye nga tomanyi na signs zaki za motorsport. So bitwagala tulabe ebyo era twakirabyeko. I was lucky okubeera part of a facilitator ku Girls on Track and twabadde ne bana abaana balese right from school without any knowledge of motorsport without any knowledge and etwawulamu classes 3 okuba introducing to motorsport and one of the class I was facilitating was about flags. Okay, so bagenza okukola exams nga they know flag and integeeza ki because bwetulanga karting and F1 most of their communication is through flags. Yeah, so ne environment ngamba tulina okwongera pushinga okulaba nti no buli muntu ajoininga motorsport aina entry level gyatandikirako oyina ebintu byojja okubanga omanyi tujja kulinda FIA University okutubangulira abantu naddala ku grassroots tutandika wezaffe
aba graduates ndaba yasonserwanga Monica Birinyo, Kiz Kagoro, Nevis Chizito, Albert Ofom and president graduating
ati graduating naye kati abo be basobodde okubeera ku gundi physically nga basobodde okutuukayo ne wali abalala nga Lion Senyange
ndaba ne Shafik Matovu
waliwo gwe bayita Ronnie Bwete Ronnie something
the president wa FIA mukulu bin Sulayen we abaddewo Albert nade kubuuza do you have a photo you and Ben?
personal, two of us. No.
Jackson Ojina.
That was the
Yeah.
photo for
Ojina,
Yeah.
ngoli naye.
Yeah.
Yobo inagitereka mu safety deposit box.
Bakubidde ekifaananyi ekyo twamwambushinze towards awo. Twamusazeeko busazi. In fact, Shafiki Matovu yadduka misinde n'amutaayiza ffe nga tusobola kudduka ffenna nawe asooka omubire mukulu. Ffe omwami oyo ayina ebintu bye byakoze nga ye. Ayogera agamba kala ye tefaanana bali abakatandika FIA abalowooza nti nno balinamu obuyinza. Kala ye efaanagana abantu gy'agenda agitambuza. Ekyamuteesawo koose ya FIA University initiative ye ne presidential fund kuyamba ffe abakala eno oba abantu balowooza nti basobola motorsport okulanga bavaayo. Era bw'awulira nti ono yagraduatinze, in fact at that point yakola decision n'aga buli muntu agraduatinze bamuwe pass egenda mu ggala. Era wayita eddakiika nga 2 awo buli omu n'afuna email ngeri personalized from the president to you. Because kyamwewuunyisa okulengera abaddugavu bangi especially from Uganda abazze ne bakola ki ne bagraduating. So ebyo byasinga okwagala ne grassroots.
In that Mayo, was it how was other African countries in terms of graduation? But Rwanda, Kenyans,
in that
because the Kenyan nalabe chabade chi trending enya ate chabade nyo ku safari project. For them they were pushing more about the safari bamuturi bani.
For us, what we can say, Ugandans were the most people graduated in that session. Apart from us, there were other graduates from the rest of the world. From Africa, we were the most. In terms of from Rwanda, there were very few, if there was not one or two. So we represented Nigeria. There was one guy. But
Yeah, there are two.
There were two.
Yeah. So out of the 44 graduates, 12 were from Uganda. So that's what I can say.
The rest shared by
By the rest of the world, not only by Africa.
The 200 countries ezabadde graduates, as FIA members, as Baba Momba Bidi Webatio.
So you got the highest number.
Yeah, the highest number.
Okay.
It was
So
12.
just to add a little bit to what Jackson has said, olaba omusajja oyo ye we yali agezako campaigning okufuna obuyinza bwa FIA. His purpose was ayagala nnyo other countries of the world that have been left behind to be brought to the forefront of motorsport. Era his biggest thing, kati when mbadde nkola introduction yange, nagambye ebintu birimu aligning in a certain way for Uganda. Ekisooka, one, we have a president of the FIA, ayagala nnyo okutambuza motorsport all over the world. Era ye project here and he's very passionate about it and wants it to work. That's one. Two, mu Uganda muno, we have a government policy that wants to take sports all over the country. That is another thing which is aligning, which shows that these two elements can enable us move our work wano e Uganda. Ekyokusatu, in Uganda for the first time, after very many years, we have motorsport as number one. It's in the first tier of sports in the country, which means government also is focusing on it. So kiba kitegeeza nti buli kimu kiri aligned okutuyamba okutambuza nga bwe tugenda genda. Kyetulina okukola ffe ng'abantu mu field eno kwe kusalawo nti twagala kukolagana and twagala kupushinga agenda eno to go forward, because we have in the world of superstition, there is when they say all the stars align. When all the stars align for you, it is your opportunity. You must take it, because it takes a very long time for the stars to align again. So opportunity tugirina era tulina okugenda maaso okukikozesa. Mbali nja kukonako ku mwami Christian we yayogedde wano. Christian yalesemu opportunity mu Africa. Naye mu East Africa eno gye twogerako mu field ya motorsport, again we have so much opportunity. Mu rallying field tulina WRC eri Kenya. Mu F1, which is the biggest level of motorsport in the whole world, tulina Rwanda taking mu position yayo. So we as Uganda, who are the #1 motorsporting nation of Africa, it is our time to pick something. We must take up something. Otherwise, we are going to lose out on being what we actually are.
JJ, I don't know, at the management level, do you ever realize the potential the sport has in terms of harnessing its making it achieve its potential and harnessing these opportunities? Because even this chat, GAKWAYA, I had a chat with him during the day, and it's like, I mean, you guys have you have the numbers, be it you have the highest entry list, and they follow by our sport. They follow to the dot. Because normally after events, the stage times, I have interaction with him. Not only him, but even in Kenya. No sharing any game, time zone or guy, so if only they had a quarter.
They always say if Rwanda bagamba, if anybody tufunako 50% of what you guys have,
we can blossom and we are.
Tusobola kubeera ku level nga bolaba Italy, Spain, kwemeza kutulo kwogera.
And it gets back to you guys.
And what I think, to me personally, I think ekintu kye tuyina, bw'otunulira ati ze tunulira Rwanda ne Uganda is politics ali mu every aspect of the sport in Uganda, which is wrong. Nti agenda kukola kimuyisa ofuna kaluka mwaka gujja. Yeah? Not in Rwanda, they put politics aside, ne baba ne ba administrators now to push the sport to the level. Kati bonna agamba tugambe ndako ekyokulabirako Jackson ayagala akalulu omulundo guddako analisinze zatagenda kukola oba zagenda okukola nga zifevalinga mu akalulu. So ekyo kikulipolinga omuzanyo somehow. Never tusinga tunasobola okutuuka ku level nti nno ba politicians, they are politicians, and administrators of the sport are administrators. Ojja kulaba nti nno guva we guli. Naye kati waliwo bitasobola kulogamba eyo kirabu eyo ndagala obululu bwange butaano okitegeera. So bye byezo kuba butunya nti management erina abantu 6 babalonda bulunzi kalulu. Excom yeyegattakawo next management level erina 16 nabo okujjaawo ku bali babalonda mu kirabu zaabwe. So buva ku ekyo oba odda ku driver teri level ndala gy'oddako. So kitegeeza buli omu agenda kukola decision ng'atunuulira nkomawo ekisanja ekiddako. Bwe tutakyuse ne teekawo like structures eziri administrative ng'oli ajja by merit mu kyagenda okukola era n'akipushinga by merit. Naye olubeeraawo, to me, that's another thing.
But again, is it maybe because of the way our politics has been shaped? Normally, leadership comes along with it's politicking in leadership, because even in Rwanda they have their own ways of doing things.
Politicking in leadership, but not in management. The FIA, yeah.
Because even Bin Sulaiman
is voted with, so aina policy ja pushinga. Era bwe yabadde akola speech ze yabadde yebaza nnyo ba staff ba FIA abasobola okwadoptinga policy ze. So bwe tulina ba staff kati tulina omuntu omugoyinza okugamba staff Stephen Okongo ate badde mulwadde mu yali abavuddeyo ku kitanda yiwinza okugamba staff waali whereby olwajja dipu you are just to depose policy azikolenga bwazagala gundi bwajja is about no mufufu mu China.
I think one of I think the last EGM yali ku katikati lyonya yemu kanagamba nti buli president ajja mu FMU ajja ne strategic plan. They sat somewhere, I think, were you part of that design? Why in Muyenga in something?
The one for Depot? Yeah,
they designed the strategic plan. But even before them designing a strategic plan, there was one that had been designed previously. So they came up with another one. No management. So there's no continuity.
Well, FIA, their strategic plan is 2030. But his regime to come 2030. So what he does, Basangao ani alikugu ya Sangao, ya strategic plan for the sport. Na ajitunulira. Nafuna wa adjusting. Era walabye Bungereza, abadde Bungereza mu General Assembly, they opposed some of the policies that chooses. Ne guy inaga manyi zinakyusiza kyendowooza. Naye obuyiza buli mbachi delegates. Guys, let's vote on it chicho mulaba. Do you think my idea is better than Jensanzeo? Yeah. ne balonda nawangaluza 90 something percent idea ye. So olaba nti no is still pushing strategic plan kuma 2030. Yeah, and he's the president for a few years, probably ayinza okuddako ekirabo talutaddako, but he's there. So we have your politics.
So
ogenda mu break.
So tukole ku nsimbi when we get back we FIA yafulumize yayo 2030 and there are 5 aspects bageno centering ako which we can talk about that and maybe try to resonate them with the what we have here, because it's what they give us is what flowable is what you have to follow. Not necessarily entirely, but at least chikuwa basis for. But for us, we still struggle with basic things here. JJ and you into management. Hi, Daniel Konoko, social media, the group forums, and by the way, good enough for you to take things positively. People speak out their minds, no responding to them, then maybe it gives you feedback to go back to management and say people say this. So that to better the sport.
It's another way of interacting directly with bantu bokola nabo nokulaba nga otereza okulaba nga kimu kitereza.
And good enough, I've just like people have raised their levels of arguments. They're virtually personal, they speak out their mind for the better. And let's go in for a short commercial break when we get back. But question, then we talk more of what happened in Kigali, Rwanda. From that short commercial break, it's a podium into our last segment of today's show on the 16th of December 2024. Only hoping what you plan to do this year, you've achieved. If you haven't, let's pray for the gift of life, and we hope 2025, we will definitely try to achieve our aspirations and desires. I'll be 2024 in terms of things that have shifted your way.
For me, I'm number one is a Kurwange, number one, gift of life. I'm alive, which is very good. Business-wise, together and we continue. And we just look forward to a better 2025. And that's all you can ask for. Earlier, in terms of why Uganda, Jackson Agambye politics, which is true. For very many years, we must accept to work together. The collective responsibility of everything is most important. What benefits everybody is number one, not what benefits one individual. So Ben Sulaiman is a man who is looking for a collective agenda, and if you follow a collective direction, you get what you want. What we have here is assumptions of individual capacity and people feeling without them things can't go. The world is no longer like that. We have the East African community because of collectiveness. We have the African Free Trade Area because of collective bargaining. So if you think and believe you don't want to be you want to stand as an island and make sure that it's all you benefits, the world is leaving you behind.
Okay. Then among the FIA in Jackson, I got the producer Jatu aspirations are FIA 2030. There are 5 denominators of our sightings, and one of them is innovation, elements of creativity. I think with those ones, maybe we can as well borrow. You guys, I don't know, we know why you report about.
Already, while you're not picking it, it's a bit from whatever they have in plan, and. But we know people about innovations awards. Ngolichi yakola is kulabanga asomesa abana masomera out crossroads. Olingi yakoze devices solo kulaba emission ya carbon dioxide. Kenya bawangula award nga bakoze
World Council members were presented with the new FIS Sports Strategy Vision 2030. Okay.
Olina akola just a Kenya chebakoze pima motoka zitwala buzito, and it's something FIA chetunulira mobility. So I think we will not be so well. If we can come up with a vision 2030 in Uganda one, we do the following with different presidents. in those 10 years, in those 6 years, what will you want? That's what I can assure you. We have the potential, we have the capacity, we have the knowledge. If we can work together, it's ownership. Like individualism. They chitandika, nze mugezi wacho, you know. Nenga FIA na picking up ebintu ebimu is our weaknesses in Africa is one reporting. Our reporting is very poor. As a federation, as anything. When you observe mu event about the massacre, you never know what happened.
Yeah, advancing innovation, technology, and education. It's one of the pillars of the Kwezo for achieving that vision of 2030.
So what with innovation? You know what your blueprint jibakola. Rwanda bakoze testing area elements.
Yeah, factory.
Yeah, kati. Technology, then education ya JSBA ko nyonyo. Agamba if people are knowledgeable, they will know what to do and how to do it. Yeah, kati utwa the diploma in leadership still ya $3,300.
Yeah, what aspect of diversity and inclusion. Yeah.
So if you look at diversity and inclusion in Uganda, if we tap into that, okitegeera botunya bana bana nga Bobo the Beto abavubuka abato abajja, if we think nitubalowoleza how we can do them to the level.
26.
Yeah, because they practical. When I saw an opportunity somewhere and yali yagala drivers below 26 years, 26 and below, that's why I could disclosing chichibagenda call exactly because people over expect things. I just want to know, can we have those drivers? Kinazula mu Uganda boite kinoga omanyi ogenda kufufa FM oba kufufa TV okole ekiro ogenda kubagwa kilininga wajja kubuza bampa mmeko kilininga anomulala kilininga mfo okubuuza okutunya ekyetaagisa atunulira biddako which is a problem. So we have the inclusivity and diversity, we have the potential, and people are looking at Uganda as a place where they can have those things. Naye botunulira, I was looking for a woman driver who is below. In fact, never join age limit but I don't even get like 30. I can't. Why? Until no. Grassroots. How do we promote ladies to our guru? Yeah. But drivers, I be 26. I only saw 3. 3 or 4, I think. So, I think your FIA, diversity and inclusivity is one of their pillars.
Then by now ensuring global accessibility. I think everything gets...
So, ensuring global accessibility, sustainability, how does FIA...
Sustainability and environment, secure financial growth and reinvestment.
Yes. Botunulira, boba ina kati ebe nena babitekako grants. For example, FMU, tegenda kuddamu kusobola funa grants over mu FIA, nga tetuukiriza environment accreditation, at least level 1. At least level 1. And butabusobola kutuukira financial, I mean those grants, then kitegeeza kigenda kuba tulina obuzibu bw'amaanyi. Era mwe baintroducinzeewo environmental observer. Kyanneewuunyisizaamu like lunaku tuba tufuna environmental observer bulijjo Mr. Sebagala Kaweesa. FIA nga temuyina oba ffe twalowooza nga tubanakirowooza. So era nadde njogana abenvere mumanyi njagala mundiscussing munnyonnyolemu kino ekyo. Kuba FIA yekyese buleesi as a must when okubeerawo environmental observer on every ARC event, every FIA event, fine. So sustainability ngokola tukole sport whereby anyone can afford. Lwaki okola stage emu eri kilomita 45 endala eri ogikiberi ogenda okumaliriza nga driver akoseza liters 5 ez'amafuta and he cannot even do the next event. Yeah, let's have it. Kwa twalogeddeko ne mwami Ofongo n'omu wa Cyprus and bubakola stage 3 only 3 ne bazivuga ennaku ezo 2. You drive 1, 2, 3 mu service in the morning run. But the afternoon, 1, 2, 3, the same. Never again. Never come out the following as Venu.
There's a former KIGALI that come up with.
That's the clover leaf.
Yeah.
So
strengthening the fair brand.
We had 3 stages sharing the same start and the same FF. Yeah.
So kakati chiri bwe kiti. Ebyo byonna, like they say, strengthening the FIA brand it's about getting FI okubanga wano mu Uganda abantu bagitegeera.
It's visible. It's visible.
It's our responsibility as an ASM. Ebyo nawe bayogeddeko awo, these are things which are everything we can do if we agree to work together. So, development of talent. If you want to have a child at the age of 15 driving a car, you must go and look for him, right? So we not take out programs.
There are very many Odilo under 17,
yeah,
post primaries, so it's easier for you to
get talent.
So you need to go look for the talent and develop it. But in terms of events is not very sustainable, very cheap for the competitor, because competitors in Uganda are private people. 100% of our competitors run on their own budgets. The sponsorship packages we have, some have, but they are not able to sustain a competition at that level. So therefore, okuwangula events tekyetaaga kuvuga 30 kilometers. No. We can do a race of 10 kilometers and I will beat you because I am more efficient. Breaking a car is not rally. Bana bazungu bakozesa motoka zino, the WRC motoka WRC1 kati bagisaziza bay. It is going to cost 340,000 euro to buy the car, to build the car. They have put a cap on it. Tosobola kuzimba motoka ngeri ku bay above that. Why? Kubanga bagala ba manufacturers abangi bajje ba competing. Putting entana in the route is nonsense, because you are not supposed to break the car, you are supposed to compete effectively. That is why Wogende Kenya, Osanga WRC car which costs $500,000, they grade the road for it. But when you come to Kampala, somebody wants to design a route and put you in potholes. Those days of potholes ended. It ended. The economy tesobola, manufacture tasobola kusasula ezo set. So that is why you bring it lower. So for us here, where the competitor is using his own pocket his money from his own pocket, designing us sections in Aziri together, short, clean roads, quick. Kola design, let us fight about who can take corners faster. But let's not fight about breaking potholes. And let's not fight about okuzimba, what do you call it? People say, genda muchiro okuzimba. That's all a wastage of time.
Yeah. No constructing a stage.
Constructing stages. It's a wastage of time. Is it from a rallying perspective? To govern notes, the WRC driver watches the stages on video every week of the day in order to go and race. So the old days of hiding notes, it ended long time ago. So if you want to go drive, the drivers here, even us when we were driving, mutuwayo enaku bili tugende mu route so that we beat the other people. Ne obakuwa route eyo mirundi 10 nga tosobola kuvuga ajja kujja akukube.
Yeah, because there are very many factors.
There are very many factors.
Knowing the route contributes, but even the machine, your driving style.
If they gave you the same cars with him and you do not prepare accordingly, he will beat you because you are not preparing for the event. You are preparing for other things. In Davila Mudala, all that. It's a wastage of energy.
So another thing to emphasize in the Mayo conferences, assemblies, was online abuse. Online abuse affecting the whole sport and life yabantu mungeri. It is very negative. Era Rwanda signing the MOU ne FIA understanding ukulanga bali united against online abuse. It's something FIA chayagala to Joe. There's a COC ya muchara you can see yalimu life yene yayinoneka kate yewe n'obutwa because of yakola decision babula gye balowooza yalinzo wa Spain nakola decision yabanga yadde kubidde oludda ne bamuma buli kimu towaze Kenya yazze ye family yakutukanamu his family you're breaking up and people badde balizotinga agenda mu court bichi, but it's very unsportive okubanga tuba mu court all the time. So one of the things kyebalaga okupushing era mu agenda eyo ya 2030 is being united against online abuse.
Kalinga ichatuka ku incident yatuka ku like commerce mu 2021 that championship controversially won by Max Verstappen. The entire world was the entire world okay necessarily, but Africa as a continent was completely.
No, my friend,
on-
the
on-
entire world was on him.
And why I've said Africa, because of the being selective a bit because of Hamilton and his color and everything. But the entire world was on Michael Massey saying how he is all sorts of. By then, that incident created a pool of stewards for
For F1. Even one of these programs that I found that we have from there is that the president of FIA is looking for stewards all over the world. There is a regional training which you can do to become a steward regionally here in Africa, and you can be posted away. That's why we see this Kenyan lady at the Formula One track. Issues of safety. Safety is not a monopoly of anybody. Safety is everybody, and we must be part of it. So every opportunity is there for us to go. The most important thing, Jetwino, as a country, Uganda, or as an ASN Uganda, is that Twino Kutula once and reflect on ourselves. Rwanda is, in all due respect to Rwanda, it is a very small organization compared to FMU. In the region, what we consider to have been the biggest organization of ASN was the Kenyan ASN. And after the Kenyan ASN was us. But what is considered to be the heart of motorsport in East Africa is Uganda. But Uganda as Uganda as a person has refused, I don't know why, has refused to take up its role. We are bickering on very, very small issues all the time.
I think because the twin policies. Like from here, where do you go next?
council, you approve your time is first spent. You approve the historical championship calendar. There's much by the way. There's a try to get up on even to call Mami Moses Seguya about the historical championship. Countries like Spain, Czech Republic, France, Belgium, Austria, Finland, Greece, Italy, Spain. Spain when I even see bidding. Okay, then in Portugal.
That historical challenge. This is the first year, but next year Kenya is going to be there.
Kenya,
because Kenya has been running the Safari
the classic.
Historic Classic, and it does not just come out of luck.
I think it's just bayongeza back 2020, I mean 2000, Charlie say variety. And then the cost neka. Okugula ezidemoke za classic. It's an amane leg. Okujibezao. But now batekamu zino giserika, batekamu G8, it becomes cheaper because it's Chinese market. Yeah.
Okay, that is it. No one know. Now what my ear on the ground government to jako an event here more. Maybe you yet to approve to prove that.
Yeah, DVP ya chideta nga management ngagabero event. Urakubanza na ina idea ntino we can conquer those events mu event endala okusinga okwesiba ku kintu kimu. Yeah, then we see how we can, because abasinge moka bazijja ko original yazo abaina zigisiye baino zizayo osanga G8 erimu N10 eri just afuga historical osanga serika ngo I mean starlet erimu yini ya serika mugugugu judde guti osanga limited I mean wajitete ya paswa FX ngerimu engine ya Super Limited oba erimu Primo 7A so oba kati people I know kudayo ko original zawe bitunyumira omuzanyo it's another cost but it's cheaper.
It's a championship path following Acropolis hiyo Greece. It's a championship path following. We have to find out how if I criteria yako says coming up with. I don't know if they are bidding.
No, yeah, those countries they bid. Kati wotulanga wachoka ogamena Spain na bid.
Because they change yako.
Just Spain. Yeah, and people started bidding. No banga tugenda fuga ARC we bid. Era ba bidding abana be bafunye. The young president bagambye ntino waliwo chances ne Zambia gena kola ki komawo but bo take open this is good ham to take bid zamwe are you ready abali ready batekayo so je kwesanga
sharing the calendar ARC ne Gomez na muzo we mukuru adi vice president we ye Gombe we mga mukuru chichi now why oleka do cha pushing and okay out of the historical championship then there's also change in the scoring format ya WRC for next year and Albert I think Bagages is no scoring on Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then of course Sunday. But I think they have reverted by reverting
because it's about the same format, but they have reduced on the points you get on the Sunday race. So it's 5-6. It starts from 6-5 going downwards up to 1 for Sunday race. Katuku Saturday. tusquaringa ziri points twasquaringanga bulijjo omala rale ngofuna 25 points zo.
That's a redefined simple WRC format scoring system for 2025 to further enhance the competition. Kiba kitegeeza governing council neddamu otuula next year ngeddamu ngetunula
reviewing abina ebintu kati ekyo that is what we need to do here. Kati nga mwami Jackson wagambye reporting. When you go to an event, you report about the event. When you report about the event, edayo wano mu planning ya organization. Nemanya twakoze events musanvu, kye twazudde mu events zino musanvu.
Tulina komo kizibu bwekiti.
Tulina mu ekizibu. Kweranga wano mu Uganda kye twazudde mu reverse order yetuyamba nnyo ku safety. So tukizudde. Okay, kati tukikole tutya okukiimprovinga. So next year nemukolamu ekintu ekirala. But in your improvements,
tukizudde ntino okola Friday ne Saturday kiri better than Saturday and Sunday. We assess. So those reportings ezo
ziyamba omuntu okukyusa. Ate mu reporting obo n'ensobi zammwe muzifuna. Kati nga bano bakola point scoring ya 2024 ne balaba nti wali ensobi kati bakozemu bakyusa endala. Because it is a living, it's a living product. Ekyusa buli lunaku. So that is what we need to do.
Okay, then lastly, the ARC calendar yafulumye. Jackson yageddeko 4 countries. KIGALI yageddeko chances, but then this is the second time where initially comes yasooka nefulumya. Abajjukira obungi nga Tanzania eriko still worried. Kati ate gye ba-approve at the World Governing Council, there's no Tanzania, there's no Ivory Coast, there's no Madagascar, there's no Zambia.
Si comes eyamba kuma aba Africa. But see ekola decisions. It recommends. It recommends. But FIA because opens a portal for people to apply. You have to type in and apply as a country. No recommendations or in there's a forum working group and trying to push for. Then there's a letter which was issued by Muturi. But East Africa is letting it down. In FIA, we plan a side meeting for Africa. To get them World Council with a common voice. Or no, like a coordinator of Africa, Muvukayani, Samia, something like that. Where is what is our common problem to face to get the nature? But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I saw the letter by Muturi. You was Christian about them coming together because of time, maybe. Yeah, that's the ARC calendar. Kenya by the water bag as a safari ne equator, so it's 2 in 1. So we're gonna how are they going to?
Chiriwechiti is very simple. It is 2 rallies in 1. It's the same thing as happens in Europe. The WRC car is up front, they are doing their race. There is a historical class inside there. There is a European Championship race going on. It's just about organizing.
The cost of running previously, it's a logistical nightmare being part and parcel of the WRC.
For who?
But
we have seen it before Kenya. The first WRC
event, it was a
no. The difference was these guys wanted to race as WRC cars. When they go for the ARC, they are going to race as ARC cars. Different scrutiny,
different everything. I'll give an example. But guy, if you have a stage like Kedong, Kedong and sleeping mode and elementary, I'm just giving an example, not in no particular order. But loop soka WRC jitam. Mu abafiri ko jikole stage okola that loop mwino ba ine bakola loop egoko bi nimule kwa mujikole
no
was not the case
mwami Bukenya. It has been agreed that the WRC is going to run with the ARC event. So the preparation for that event,
they will plan it very well
to make sure that the WRC car is there. After WRC 2, you will see the first first ARC car coming. And then all these other cars that do not qualify for ARC will not come.
But then we have seen this thing.
They might not even run on that race.
Can't use them in Uganda.
It will not be on the KNRC.
Okay. Let me give you another example in Uganda. When we have ARC event, PAL. To run a PAL, ARC, and national. So when the decision comes in, they will cancel the national stage here. And that's ARC. So it all depends on your planning. Yeah, but a planning a Burundi. These people are enough time a planning a Burundi.
There's even change of routes
Ebyo
So
byonna-
bajja kibala but wetuwanga waliwo ene issue nti era dabeso balina okugenda te bantu bakyaliyo bangi they can cancel ukundi gyebiri mu mateeka then bagamanyi mugende mweri
An interaction with the guys who did the ARS, who took part in the WRC when it first returned in COVID.
Yeah, their experience,
and others.
the truth about it is their experience, unfortunately, was a result of what was at home.
But
That is the only truth.
Kenya tried to call for the intervention of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta.
Listen, even if it was Kenya, it was a result of their problem at home. Because the Group N car is a Group N car. It is defined by the FIA. You ask, for example, they send you the documents. So if you're going for an FIA event in which a Group N car must drive, you should go with a Group N car. It is simple. It is given to you at the beginning of the year.
But Group N is varying from a country.
We are out of time, but we watch the space in regards to Zambia, Tanzania,
I think it's basically Zambia and Tanzania. The Zambian guys were wanted it, and Tanzania
previously, South Africa, it's been years in running. But the ARC, looking at Muturi's letter, to the response FIA, FIA, by sponsoring at least 2 crews from every country. Then if you have 5-6 countries, those are 12 cars on the competing on the ARC, and it will definitely be revamped.
Era that African body must sit down, and the FIA ARC Championship is a product for sale.
But
it's a product for sale to a certain person, just like the European Championship and the WRC.
But
so
it comes back to reporting. Does FIA know that we are ARC in Africa?
FIA knows.
If they know, they know. But do they know how it's run? Because does information go past, comes to where it's supposed to go next? Because I was talking to one guy there, but what challenges do you have? General Secretary of FIA. Which challenge do you have?
That's all we've had for you.
So, Nemanya.
Rwanda. I don't know, did you come with looking at Albert's pockets? It's nothing absolutely.
Rwanda is not a cheap country.
Kale, that's all we've had. We'll definitely get back next week with all the latest in the world of motos.
I'm really extremely happy to be in Kigali for the awards and for the General Assembly. I do thank the government and for their support, especially with His Excellency the President, and also with the team, and also the Automobile Club of Rwanda. But this is the grassroots. This is what, when we talk about diversity, it's not just about talking about it, it's doing it. It's not something that we use and say, okay, we are going to make a noise about it, but really we are living it now and supporting the grassroots. It's so important for us. I was there when they were trying the simulators, and then there is a track also there which they were driving. And of course, it's a learning step. This is the real grassroots. I'm really happy to be here. And then even the FIA have invested this year 10.3 million euro on grassroots. So, but we will never stop. So all the best to the young girls, and hope to see some of them on track soon. Thank you.